This is a golden nib Silvertip, the premium that they have. Kind of soak it in a little water for a little bit. I don't have to do that, but I do. The razor we're going to use today is this Merkur Futur. It's spelled future, but with no E at the end, so I assume it's pronounced Futur. I'm going to try it on a 4 today. I've used it recently. I'm going to sell it, and so I wanted to run it through several of my blades just for research purposes before I moved it on to another home. Without a blade in it, it's pretty easy to just pull off the cap. You don't have to worry about the blade dropping to the floor or anything like that. The blade we're going to put in it is my Gillette Silver Blue that's been used a handful of times. And there we go. So with this guy, you got to keep this thing vertical after you let go of the blade so it doesn't fall out. Then keep it centered and then press down, and you click down on both sides. You're good. And the setting is still at 4, so he's ready to go. I shaved with a feather recently with it, and the feather did really well. I think it's a good razor. It's just that it's not my style visually, and also there's a little extra. The razor's kind of wide, and it's outside of the blade edges, and so it's a little the edge of the corner of the edge is more inside of the outside of the razor, so it's difficult to kind of line things up and know where the razor is. And there's just, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem shaving with this razor for the rest of my life, but we just got so many other great choices out there right now. The soap. This will probably be my first time shaving with Grooming Department with a good soap. The first one I ever tried was Ambrosia. But unfortunately, it was one of those funky batches that just went rancid, and I couldn't smell any of the cherry pipe tobacco, I think was what the Ambrosia was about. This one's got a little bit of a funk smell to it, but this is the Mallard Kulfi, and so that's its data if you want to pause and read about it. Just got it in from another user, so let's just see. It does smell a little funky, but let's just use it. All right, let me get my face wet. You know, I've been using Sella lately, and it's just a different soap than these artisan type soaps, and so I'm not going to follow the Sella rules with this one. 40-second load is about what I was getting with Sella, and very little water. But I think this is going to resemble more the artisans, and so we're going to start with a 20-second load. Try that. See where we end up. I'm just going to use a lightly wet brush. And then let's see, when it turns to 40 seconds, we will start loading. Okay, so right to the end of the minute. Seems to be a fairly soft-ish soap, so I'll bet we'll be able to get up enough soap to do the job in 20 seconds. And there we go. Just kind of pick up what I can. It's kind of a brownish, light brown soap. This is a kind of a new knot, so I'm not going to be surprised if I lose a few hairs. It's all right. Just see what happens there. All right. This premium knot from Golden Nib I just really enjoy. It's comfortable, soft, not a lot of backbone. It's got enough backbone to pick up soap. It's got enough backbone to put those soft nib tips on your face, but it's just very comfortable. All right, now just add in. We'll just do the artisan type pattern and just start with a whole teaspoon of water there. Another hair from the brush. Heard really good things about it, and I think the ambrosia that I kind of tested before, it did really well as a lather. It just stunk. The guy who owns the grooming department, I think his name was Muhammad. It's a very nice guy. In my email interaction with him, because somebody online suggested, hey, contact the guy. He might have been doing some kind of exchange thing to make it right with the people who got sour batches. So I contacted him. He was great. He actually gave me a voucher code for basically another soap. All I had to do was send him the rancid one, and so I did, and then he did. And so this is not that particular soap. This is a used one that I got online. So I did have to add some more water to the lather. It felt slippery in my fingers, but it just needed more water. So I ended up adding total of 2.5 teaspoons currently. We just add into the brush, almost like a face lather style, just add into the brush and then, you know, working it in and seeing how everything went. And the smell is pretty cool. I think it's a little funky, but it's a neat, interesting smell, and it does seem to be going on pretty well. This brush is letting loose of some hairs big time. I think I've pulled out a dozen so far. I've reduced the setting on the razor to 3. I did the first pass at a 4. Pretty comfortable, very predictable. It was quite vocal, but no irritation, no tugging. And this particular blade, I think this is its 12th use. Yeah, this is use number 12. Some guys definitely would have pitched it by now, but not giving me any tugging or anything. So I definitely wouldn't have experienced nothing to make me think I should pitch it. This is definitely one of those that other folks have taken to 100 uses. Nice and slick. Went ahead and added some water to the little bit of soap that was in my tub. My lather bowl, so that I kind of brought that lather up to a better hydration level. I just started out too dry. But this razor's doing great. I was talking to somebody today online who was saying that let me go ahead and rinse. So he was saying that when they made the Futur, they gauged it to be the next step up from the Progress, the Merkur Progress. And that, and so it was, for him, he was saying it was very aggressive. And even the one setting was very aggressive. Well, I shaved the first pass at a 4. I didn't have any problems. And I'm not a guy who shaves with rough and tough razors. My skin is probably slightly on the sensitive side, but mostly average. And Blackbird is too rough for me to use on a daily basis. Too aggressive. I like my adjustables, like the Slim, the Fat Boy, those guys. I like them right in the middle of the road. And but most of the time I choose the smooth shave route and go with one that and do like a 4 or a 3 just to have a nice comfy, you know, smooth shave. And so I'm not some kind of leather skinned guy who can handle it. So I'm wondering if somehow his Futur is just way different than mine. He got online and the blade gaps. He posted the blade gaps, and that's in line with his allegation that that it's a step up from the progress because the range is different, but it all depends on the other values. You cannot just look at the gap measurement to know whether it's an aggressive razor because the gap is only the distance between the blade and the bottom of the safety bar. But where this up cap is up here, whether the blade is, you know, whether the safety bar is recessed, it can all have the same gap, but just be positioned differently. There's so many factors there. And so I contest and believe that this is just for me at least, it's a good spectrum. 1 is mild, really, really, really mild, and then 6 is very aggressive, and everything else is in between. And I stick 3. I don't even think I would go lower than 3, really, even if I was just trying to have a comfy, smooth shave. Maybe I would, but I don't really feel the need to at all. This is very comfortable. I do feel the cutting and stuff. Seems to be pretty intuitive in terms of where you need to hold the angle. But I'm more of a classic shaving genre kind of guy with all my vintage razors and stuff. I did get the Q-Shave clone of this razor. You know, I think this guy's like 40 or 60 bucks or something like that. I got this all secondhand and didn't pay that much. And maybe it's actually 70 or 80 if you want to pay full retail for it. But the Q-Shave is more like 12 or 13, and that's the one I went with. So that one I'll keep around for grins. I mean, there's no point in selling that one. But this one I can pass on for some, to kind of get my money back with it and let somebody else be able to enjoy it, because that's just not my style. But it's a great match for the Gillette Silver Blue. I tried the feather in it, worked really well. I believe I tried the Nacid in it, worked well too. So it seems to be performing really well across several different blades. I just finished the 3rd pass and I got a better shave than I did with the feather. A lot of people regard the feathers as the sharpest. The feather I used had fewer uses on it, so theoretically it should have been sharper. But it's all about geometry and hair type and skin type and technique and the razor. So many variables. And so this 12 use Gillette Silver Blue gave me a better cut than the feather, you know. So just disregard price, try a bunch of blades, find the popular ones, start with those first, because statistically speaking you'll have a better chance of finding a match there first. But buy a big sampler if you can. Tryblade.com is a great place to get just a few, or they have samplers as well. I didn't know about them at first, and so I found a big sampler of like 120 blades or something like that, and it came with a puck of soap from GBS, I think. I don't really know what that stands for. Soap was not a good shaving soap, but I used it in the shower and it had a great sandalwood scent. But the blades were good. I think I got kind of 2 blades of each kind, and it took a long time to work through that sampler, but I got I got to enjoy a whole lot of different razors, razor blades. So I'm really happy with this shave. Very comfortable, excellent. And I started to enjoy the scent, some incense or almost sweet, or not sweet, but the smells of an oatmeal cookie, maybe minus the sweet. You know, it's nice, warm, little bit of spice, scent. Yeah, we'll see. I shave with it again and see what I think. The good news is I might be able to trade this one in for somebody else's if they want to try the Mallard Kulfi. So we'll just see, maybe shave with it once or twice more and see if I like it. But it was enjoyable. It's light. It's not, the scent is not up in your face. The strength, I might rate it as a maybe 4 or a 5, but it's an easygoing scent. And so even though that's stronger than a lot of other soaps out there, it's very present, but it's just enjoyable and easygoing. It's not, there's nothing pungent or bitter in it, you know. So the performance was excellent. The rinses after each pass were slick and enjoyable. It felt very luxurious. It wasn't hard to get the lather, and it just felt dry on my face. And so then I knew, okay, well, it may have felt slick to my fingers, but maybe this soap is just that way. And it just starts out kind of slick and watery, but you still need to add the water to it to have it kind of come alive. And sure enough, I did. I ended up adding the total water in this lather was 2 2.3 teaspoons, and it was very economical because I pretty much used about everything that was there. And so just to give me a little bit more margin, I'm going to say for the grooming department, I might want to add another 10 seconds to the loading process. So do a 30-second load for this one. And I can see why people like it. Very enjoyable. My nice face feel afterwards, but I don't really care about that too much. I've got oily skin anyway, and that's what balms are for. So post shave is not a big impact for me. And really happy with the Gillette Silver Blue. It just did really well in the razor. So Mallard Kulfi, Kulfi, just did really well. Very happy with that. Yeah, and it's got good residual scent. I'm still able to kind of enjoy it right now, several minutes after I quit everything. So that's good. That's a good blend all the way around. This is a soap maker who is just a small shop, and so you may find that a lot of his soaps are out of stock. He can only make soaps so fast, and so then because he's got a good formula, he's got a very good base, and so he's managed to get some loyal customers. And so when he does put them out, it's possible that the good ones get gone pretty quickly, and hopefully he's able to keep up with demand to some extent. So my recommendation is have a little mercy on the guy, and be kind and be patient, and don't hassle him too much. He's just trying to make soap. I'm sure he's going to sell it as quick as he can make it. But anyway, that's my take on it. That's my little mini soapbox for today. Excellent. Excellent. Do I have anything? What would be a good scent to go with this? I don't have any irritation at all. Just got a great cut. Wow. Yeah, that's really good. Skin feels good. Yeah, I think he's a very good contender in that in the top area of the artisan market. Pretty good accomplishment. So when I was saying that the scent was easygoing, one of the aspects I wanted to mention was that I could definitely see myself using this any time of the year, because it's light, light in spirit, not necessarily light in strength, if I could put it that way. but it does cater to me for the especially good in the fall and winter. Maybe a little bit in the spring, but spring and summer, there's all kinds of fresh hotness that you could be putting on. This guy right here, nice and with the warmth and a little bit of spiciness, maybe something in there causing just a little bit of sweetness or something. Especially suited for cold weather, fall and winter. So I believe this is just a 22 millimeter golden nib brush, and I like that size. I wouldn't want to go too much bigger because of my tract of land being a little bit narrow here. I can't go across the face and stuff like the other guys do. And he's got his nice splay, comfy, poofy, cloud-like attributes with this kind of brush. The Silvertip from the golden nib. It's a 3-band, as you can see, white, dark, and then white again. Big old poof. If you want a little bit more backbone with these, you can drill the handle out a little deeper. Not put some. I may have put some spacers in on this one, but when you install it, you can set it a little deeper, or you can put some O-rings or something like that around it right here to choke up on the bristles if you want to change the attributes just a little bit. But that is, I love the cloudy, poofy goodness. Sometimes that's a relief when you've had the finest Badger brushes like this that just have tons of backbone. There we go. All right, excellent shave. Really happy with it. You heard this one perhaps being a little vocal, a little scrapey sound, and that's because underneath the blade, these two rails here that are kind of relatively close together are the only things that are clamping down on the bottom side of the blade. The edges here on the top cap are clamping down on the top part, and obviously that's what bends it down. But they come over more than the bottom piece does, and so that just means, so here's that bottom piece underneath right there. That just means that the like here might be that bottom piece. There's a lot of blade right here that is unsupported. Razors like Wolfman, Carve, the Christopher Bradley razor, and some other ones, they'll clamp up really close. The top part, of course, is there with most razors, but the bottom part will be there as well instead of being back here. And that will usually mean it's a more quiet razor. The edge is usually a bit more stable because it's so solidly held. It doesn't vibrate as much, less skipping perhaps, things like that. Different people like different kinds of razors, but I just wanted to show you that that's why this one is a little bit more vocal, because these little rails right here are so close together that they're not supporting the blade right near the edge. But I mean, it's not a fault. A lot of razors do that, but just to inform you. And if you didn't notice, one of the edges here has a little piece to help you, but I find it kind of unnecessary because I get my thumb under the bottom part of each end, and then it just pops off really easily and controllably. So it's a good razor. If post-shave comfort and smoothness and moisturization is important to you, looks like this soap's going to be a help for you. The face feels just excellent and moisturized, all that good stuff. I didn't really need it, but I went ahead and threw some of this balm on. This stuff is I'm so close to killing this bottle that I'm just anxious to get it down. So I used it anyway, just to throw on there. There's probably some microscopic kind of skin issues there. You know, anytime you shave, even if it feels great, that balms can really help with. So that's why I did that. One thing was at the bottom of my shave bowl, my lather bowl. It took a little while to rinse, kind of like a fatty coating, a slick coating inside the bowl. I'm guessing that's all the duck fat and beef tallow or whatever is in there. I'm guessing that's just kind of sticking to it. So just to make you aware, and who knows, might not even need to worry about rinsing that out. But anyway, I kind of did. I made myself some warm water because cold water was taking a little bit too long. But there we go. Well, that was just enjoyable. Hope there was something here for you in this one. Gillette Silver Blue and the Futur are an excellent match, at least for my skin. It may not work that way for you. It does for me. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. It's time to go to bed. Take care and good night.